Hey everybody, welcome back to the Current MMA YouTube channel. I'm your host, Gordo Gambles, and welcome back to Best Bets. This time for UFC London 2. We're trying to do a repeat of last UFC London card where we absolutely smoked it, did very well, hitting a lot of very good plus money numbers, and we're here to do it again. Without further ado, make sure you leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel because I do these every single week. Let's get into the very first set of plays, and that is going to be my favorite play of the day. Looking at the under in the Makwan Amirkhani versus Jonathan Pierce fight, I do think that this fight is a very binary fight. It's a really ironic matchup, actually, funny enough, because you have a guy in GSP who's a cardio machine who relies on taking to the further rounds versus a guy in Makwan Amirkhani who's a cardio liability, who's a very good fighter for one round. And it's just going to be a really fun matchup. Very simple for me. Either Makwan's going to take it in round one, very good offensive submission artist, and versus a guy in JSP who really leaves himself open at all times. Or it's going to be JSP taking over at rounds 2 or 3, banking on that cardio, banking on that ability to go out there and really just drain Makwan throughout the later rounds and get a finish either way. Under 2.5 sitting at minus 150, or you can take the fight doesn't go. I like them both. However, just give me violence in this spot. If you look at this card, actually, you'll see a lot of really heavy favorites, a lot of big minus 300, minus 350 price tags, and some of them are warranted. We'll get into some parlays later, but if you want to look at one more play that's on the money line, and it is the only 50-50 fight of the week, it's going to be Chris Curtis versus Jack Hermansson. What side am I on? As much as I've lost money fading Chris Curtis in the past, I'm going to try to do it again. I think Jack Hermansson's a step too high. A good, well-rounded mixed martial artist, a guy with very good takedowns and ground game, and a guy with really good length. I think he does pose a problem for Chris Curtis. He has the durability to go out there and withstand the power of Chris Curtis, but also be the better just mixed martial artist. Ability to go out there, get takedowns, threaten submissions, land his own strikes at his own will, and I do think he should be the favorite in this spot. Right now, they're completely evens. I'm taking it minus 110. I do think it can back to haunt me because Chris Curtis has shown that he has got a ton of heart and he's a really good prospect in the division with great takedown defense. I just think this is the first well-rounded threat that Chris Curtis has really seen. There's a reason Jack Hermansson's at the top of the division. All right, before we get into parlay pieces, my big plus money number of the weekend is going to be the over in the Leave It versus Pimblett fight. I hate betting overs, but this fight doesn't go as too juicy. Plus 225, I got to take that. Jordan Leave It, Paddy Pimblett. Both guys are mostly grapplers. I mean, they both have really good ground game. I do think that neutralizes itself early on, and then we look at the offensive striking, and Jordan Leave It doesn't really have any. I mean, he throws like 50 leg kicks, but Paddy Pimblett's really the guy who I see having the opportunity to finish and really have the opportunity to spark Leave It later on. With that being said, I do think that this could very easily be a slower fight with a lot of grappling exchanges where people are threatened, yet nothing really happens at the end. I do think it's going to be a fun fight. Of course, Paddy Pimblett should be the favorite here. He's in London. I do think he has the more finishing equity. With that being said, plus 225 is way too wide. I do think that this fight goes to decision a lot of the time, unfortunately, because I do want to see violence. But their styles make so this one that the line's wide, and I should definitely be trying to take advantage of it. That's what my model says, that's what my tape study says, and I gotta stick to it. With that being said, let's get into the parlay pieces this week. We're gonna split up to two categories. First of all, Moneyline Parlays. Mark D. Casey's that guy. Better grappler, better striker, better all-around fighter, and I do think goes out there and wins pretty convincingly. Minus 330, he's the guy I'm parlaying the most this weekend. I love Mark D. Casey. If you want to play him straight, I love him. That being said, who are we going with? Nathaniel Wood, minus 450. He's definitely an option. Makayev, also minus 500. Also a very good option. I think both those guys cover their price tags a lot of the time. Both those guys have very good paths to victory. They have the ability to go out there, take them down, hold their own on the feet, and I think that they're smart enough to do that and win a fight at a very high clip. However, the parlay piece I'm liking even more is going to be Mason Jones. Minus 350. He's facing guy Ludovic Klein, who I love. I love Ludovic Klein. With that being said, it's not a good stylistic matchup for him. Mason Jones is a guy who has great durability, great pressure boxing, and a good ground game back. And all that pressure is really going to wear on the biggest downfall to Ludovic Klein, which is that cardio. I do think that Mason Jones pushes a pace, boxes him up, closes the distance, grapples, tires him out, and finishes in the later rounds. That price tag is definitely warranted, and I also think he's a decent parlay piece this week. And the second side of thing, the other parlay pieces I'm liking, first of all, the under in the Herbert versus Nelson fight. I don't see this going all 3 rounds. You have a guy with not very good durability and a lot of cardio versus a guy with decent durability and no cardio. It's a really fun matchup in my opinion. I do think Herbert takes over at round 2 and 3 and wins this fight. However, the win equity for Kyle Nelson is that first round knockout. I do definitely think he has an opportunity to get it. That being said, give me violence, give me the under. And the second piece, we already know what it is. It is the under in the Craig versus Ozdemir fight. Grappler and Craig, striker and Volkan. Does Volkan follow Craig to the guard? I don't know. One way or the other, I see this ending. I think this is one of the best parlay pieces on the card because Paul Craig's never in a boring fight. Either he's going to go out there and get knocked out or miraculously from the grave submit his opponent, and I don't think Volkan follows him here. If he does, he's in trouble because the better grappler is Paul Craig. That being said, give me violence either way. That's what I'm looking for. But that wraps out the favorite targets for me this week, the best bets on the current MMA YouTube channel. If you want any more of my plays, I'm posting them on my Twitter at GamblesGordo. I post my full card there, probably do it around Friday night. But that's going to do it. Make sure you check out my other channel at Blaydes of Fate Sports for a DraftKings breakdown. And you show some love to this channel. Current MMA, absolute beauties. Check out their website. Leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel. They do nothing but really good things here. And I really enjoy making these videos each and every week. That being said though, enjoy the fights, enjoy the card, and let's make some money, guys.